Founded in 1973, DeLon Hampton and Associates is a professional engineering and consulting firm specializing in civil and structural engineering, as well as program and construction management services. As we celebrate 50 years of innovation, partnership, and excellence, we invite you to briefly journey with us as we reflect on half a century of transformative solutions and prepare for the next 50-plus years of engineering excellence to come.
Wow, Mama, just watching that video makes me proud, makes me so proud to know that your company's hands were a part of building so many places in DC and elsewhere. So welcome to WIN TV.
Thank you, Denise. I appreciate it. And I feel the same way, even though I'm on this side. I'm so proud of all those before my time and all of them.
Yeah, oh, yeah. So, I mean, 50 years in the industry, what's the firm's commitment to diversity and inclusion, and how have you helped shape the landscape for engineering for Black professionals?
Okay. First of all, we're celebrating our 50th year anniversary. Our founder, Dr. Hampton, started the company in 1973. Well, 1973, there were no Black-owned firm our size or our type. Pure consulting. What we do is not construction. We do engineering, consulting, engineering services.
Now, when you say no, Mamo, you mean no in the DMV, none in the DMV, or in the country?
At that time, consulting engineering. There were construction companies, maybe architects, but not civil and structural engineering firms, water, wastewater firms like what we do right now. To this day, there's few of us that have lasted 50 years. I don't think there is none. And that's why this 50th year anniversary for DHA is very important for a Black-owned firm to survive 50 years. Not only survive, Dr. Hampton run it. He was the founder, run it for about over 40 years. He was in charge for over 40 years. I assumed this position 5 years ago, 2018, even though I've worked for DeLon Hampton for 24 years out of my 37 years career. I worked for DHA. And there was a reason I joined them, was because it was a Black-owned firm. I finished school in Minnesota. Back there was nobody that kind of looked like me. I worked for a year, and I saw DeLon Hampton to work for. And there's a reason. The reason I say that is not only are we celebrating 50th year of existence, but also we're celebrating a transition of a Black-owned firm to the next generation.
Wow.
Which usually doesn't happen in our profession.
Well, the other thing, it rarely happens, period. And then, I mean, for particularly, like you said, Black-owned companies to be around 50 years, what do you think was the magic that made that happen? How did the organization survive when so many others didn't?
Yeah, and that goes back to the founder. I mean, usually when a founder starts a company, the DNA of that person is in the company. And Dr. Hampton did not respect boundaries. Let's put it that way. I mean, nobody can tell him you can't do it. And our first project, from what I understand in this area, was for the metro, the WMATA project. And we've done a lot. We're still there, but he went and interviewed for a project that was his first project with about 4 or 5 people in the firm. And he was so qualified. He was a geotechnical engineer. He is a PhD. So he didn't say, I can't get it. He went in and he got the project. What I'm saying is, the things that we need to look at from the past is that his ability to say, no, nobody can tell me what, there is no boundary. I mean, even though at the time there were no Black engineers, but he participated in that. And going forward, there is nothing we say we cannot do. I mean, the project that you see right now are large projects.
Let's talk about some of those. Yeah, because we saw some of the images, but tell us some of the large projects that you all are involved with.
Yeah, Verizon Center. So And that's the thing. Stretching is one of the things that he said. We have to stretch, and we stretched and grew. And so it's the DNA. We are not only that, we attract Black engineers that come out of school, want to work for us, because back then that was the only firm that was around that was all inclusive with equity. And going to another firm, somebody might feel, or a Black engineer might feel, not belonging in that environment. But at DHA, we're a diverse team right now. We're everybody in a high position is diverse, predominantly black engineers or Black executives. So
yeah. But you know, Mama, sometimes, and that's what one of the challenges of DEI, right? People think, oh, because you're Black, you have to, fulfill these positions. But even at your company, you didn't just hire people because they were Black.
no,
Mr. Harris didn't do it because they were just Black, but you had to come with something. What did you come with to make him say, you can be a part of our team? What did he look for in the people that he hired?
like you said, first is ability to do the work. I mean, and that's number one. You have to be able to do what was required to be done. And that's the only metrics. Wherever you come from, it's not because you're Black or white or Latino or Asian. It's first is that. But the fact that it is open to Black engineers. I've worked previously in other engineering firms, and there is, it's not still level. There is a point of where you say, well, I can't grow any further than X, Y, and Z at the position.
Yeah.
Here I grew all the way from civil group manager to the president of the company. There was no secret handshake. There was no ceiling. Your ability was what it took me to get to this point. And I want the younger engineers, when they come on board, to feel the same way. Right now in the country, there's about 6% of the practicing civil engineers are Black. And that's not a whole lot.
And I assume that those numbers really have not grown. Is there a reason why they're not growing?
And there is a trend in our profession also to become a conglomerate. Right now, our size is a medium-sized firm.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, bigger firms are buying smaller firms and becoming big. So there is no company our size does not exist almost. I mean, it's there, but it's diminished.
Okay.
And
how would you describe the size of your company? It's not a conglomerate, but what is it?
For a consulting firm, we consider ourselves a mid-sized consulting engineering firm.
Okay.
We, like I said, we do only consulting. We don't produce gadgets or anything. We just do design, and we hand it off to the contractors to build. We're designers, and then also we manage projects, project management and program management. We have a significantly large project for FTA. We're managing all their work in the Mid-Atlantic area, program management oversight.
Who is that? You said
FTA, Federal Transit Authority.
Okay, all right. Do you do a lot of transportation work
yes.
in that field? Because and I think about it all the time. Every time I hear the president or the Congress talking about an infrastructure bill and all the money that's being spent because the whole country needs to be rebuilt almost. And to be in that space the opportunities have to be amazing, even though, you still have to fight.
You have to
get your piece of the pie.
Yeah, exactly. But we're doing it all, not as much as it's as equal as I want it to be, but we're getting some of it. But there is a whole lot to be done. I mean, like you mentioned, the system of our infrastructure, our politics also doesn't help globally, not just minority firm globally. The way infrastructure money is allocated is not the great it's not great because it's always politics. One governor comes and then kills the other project, and then it stays for a long time before it gets constructed. Pointing an example is like, I don't know if you know the ICC, the Route 200 in Maryland. It took about 40 years to be built.
Yeah.
40 years. And the most developed country in the world right now doesn't have a high-speed rail. China has tons of them already. We don't have a high-speed rail system in this country, and everybody else has it. And that's because it's not, infrastructure is seen as a political tool for somebody to say, well, I got to this project, rather than being a similar to defense. It should be something that should be allocated, funds should be allocated every year, despite a government changing or elections happen and all that. It should be consistent, just like defending this country, because without infrastructure, our livelihood doesn't exist. I mean,
well, we see that, people see that every day when they're stuck on these roads and they can't get, it takes them longer and longer to get to work. And, I mean, there's not really reliable options to travel, besides car. So it's interesting. And you mentioned global. I'm wondering, does the firm do any work outside of the country?
No, we have not done any. Yeah.
Okay.
We have an Atlanta office in Maryland. We have Prince George County.
Okay.
We had a California office at one time. We don't have it anymore, but it's in the United States, and we've done tons of work.
Well, how do you plan to celebrate your 50th anniversary? What's the big plan?
We already had our event the first day of February in a venue that is owned by the first woman at Salamander, black woman.
Sheila Johnson, exactly. Yeah.
And we had it there just because we want to make a point. A Black-owned firm has reached 50 years, and not only that, it has transitioned to the next generation. It's going to intend to stay for another 50 years.
Wonderful.
So we did a celebration, a great one, and a lot of people came. But we're going to continue to the next 50 years. What I want to mention a couple of things. What we have done also. I mentioned there were only 6% of civil engineers African Americans. DHA in its life has gave livelihood to about 1,800 employees, and that's a lot of people that
it is.
We have touched, and a lot of them either became their own owners of a firm at somewhere else, or came back to us, worked again. So that's a big thing, and in addition to that. Because of that lack of civil engineers and our, some of the owners participating, we have established a scholarship fund for African American students that pursue STEM in an accredited college, and it's going to be rolled. It's going to start this year, we need that because I have attended career fairs at colleges, and different colleges have different, like Majority College, few African Americans are there. They come and talk to us, and they're very happy to see a Black-owned firm participating in a career fair. And just that fact, and the fact that there is a firm that they can go in and apply and equitably get a job, and we actually recruit Black engineers. We have Harvard grads, Morgan State grads. That's a big deal by itself. Just that's what I want in foster, is to be able to have a firm that is available to them, and they can always, just like it was for me. Like I said, in 1987 is when I graduated from University of Minnesota, and I knew about Longhampton back then, and I sought to work there because I know I've worked on the other side. So this scholarship fund is going to be great for for a lot of people, and I just want to let people know that. And
now, how can people find out information about the scholarship fund?
we're going to roll it out. It's going to be on our website,
Okay.
and the details are going to be on our website.
Okay, and the website, I don't know if we've got that posted now. Okay.
DeLonHampton.com. Yeah.
Right. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to just say, I mean, I really appreciate you being with us, sharing this, historic and very significant occasion with us, in a field where there are not enough of us, but at least there's a place where people can go, and contribute and be a part of the rebuilding of America. So, Mamu, your story itself is great, and glad you could spend this time with us.
Thank you, Denise. Appreciate it. Appreciate the opportunity, and kudos on your 60-year also. But I'm going to mention that that's an achievement by itself, right there.
Yeah, all I can say is,
yeah. Yeah.
I know you understand.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Well, keep it going. I know.
Exactly. Well, thanks so much for being with us. Let us know about any, as new projects come along. We certainly want to continue to celebrate 51 and 52, and all the great work you all are doing.
Appreciate it, Denise. Thank you.
All righty. Have a good one. Thank you.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.